Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the sound of a glacier, the size of a city, crashing into the ocean. Picture wildfires swallowing forests larger than entire countries. Feel the suffocating heat of a city where the asphalt bubbles and the air itself feels like it's on fire. This isn't a scene from a disaster movie. This was reality. This was 2024. Welcome to the hottest year in recorded human history. But the story goes much deeper than that. A groundbreaking report, compiled by 52 of the world's leading scientists, suggests that 2024 was likely the hottest year in at least 125,000 years. To find a time this warm, you'd have to travel back to the Eemian interglacial period, a time when hippos swam in the River Thames and sea levels were a staggering 6 to 9 meters higher than they are today. The data is undeniable, and it's coming from every major climate agency on the planet. On January 10, 2025, NASA confirmed that 2024's global temperature was 1.28 degrees Celsius above the mid-20th century average, smashing the previous record set just a year before. When you compare it to pre-industrial times, the baseline for our climate goals, the planet was a shocking 1.47 degrees Celsius warmer. NOS numbers told the same terrifying story. But it was Europe's Copernicus Climate Change Service that delivered the most alarming news. They calculated the warming at 1.6 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. The independent group Barclay Earth painted an even starker picture, with their numbers showing a 1.62-degree rise. They also confirmed something that climate physics has long predicted. Land areas are warming much faster than the oceans, at a rate of 2.28 degrees. This is why the heat feels so intense where we live. An incredible 95% of Earth's surface was warmer than its long-term average, and for nearly a quarter of the globe, it was the hottest year ever. The World Meteorological Organization summed it up. The last 10 years, from 2015 to 2024, are now officially the 10 hottest years ever measured. But what truly sets 2024 apart isn't just the peak temperature. It's the speed at which we got here. The jump in global temperature from 2023 to 2024 was the largest two-year increase since records began in the 1870s. If you look at the graphs, it's not a gentle curve anymore. It's a vertical spike, a hockey stick that's been supercharged. To truly grasp the significance of this, we need to look beyond the last century and a half of thermometer readings. Scientists use proxies, ancient clues locked in ice cores, tree rings, and deep-sea sediments, to reconstruct Earth's climate history. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change had already concluded that our last decade was warmer than any multi-century period in the last 125,000 years. This new report goes even further, pinpointing 2024 itself as the single hottest year in that vast expanse of time. Back in the Eemian period, with CO2 levels similar to what we passed decades ago, the planet was about 1 to 2 degrees warmer than pre-industrial times. But that warming happened over thousands of years. The Greenland ice sheet melted, raising sea levels by meters. Today we're hurtling towards that same level of warmth, but we're doing it at a pace that is 10 times faster. We're cramming millennia of change into mere decades. Some might point to these natural cycles and say, see, it's happened before, but that misses the crucial point. The rate of change today is unprecedented. Tree ring data showed that 2023 gave the Northern Hemisphere its hottest summer in 2,000 years. 2024 took that record and scorched it across the entire planet for a full year. The overwhelming scientific consensus is that the speed and scale of today's warming are far beyond any natural variability. So why did 2024 explode like a thermal bomb? The main culprit, the one we all know, is the relentless buildup of greenhouse gases from human activity. In 2024, atmospheric CO2 reached 422 parts per million, the highest concentration in at least 3 million years. But this extraordinary spike needed a few extra pushes, a perfect storm of converging factors. First, a powerful El Niño event, which started in 2023, released a massive amount of heat from the Pacific Ocean, adding about 0.2 degrees of extra warmth. But here's the strange part. Even after El Niño officially ended in June, the heat just stuck around. It refused to dissipate, something scientists have never seen before. Second, a new rule from the International Maritime Organization in 2020 drastically cut sulfur emissions from cargo ships. While this was great for air quality, those sulfur particles had an unintended side effect. They acted like a giant sunshade, reflecting sunlight back into space and masking a portion of the warming. By cleaning up the shipping lanes, we effectively pulled the shade away, unmasking the heat that was already there. The North Atlantic in particular warmed dramatically. Third, a strange and rare anomaly occurred over the oceans. The low, bright clouds that normally help cool the planet by reflecting sunlight thinned out dramatically. This was a 1-in-100-year event, allowing even more solar energy to be absorbed by the ocean. Put it all together, the underlying greenhouse effect, a supercharged El Niño, the unmasking of hidden heat and thinning clouds, the result. A planet that is hotter than our climate models predicted. Attribution studies are now virtually certain, 100%, of the excess warming we are seeing is down to the human fingerprint. These numbers on a screen translate into real-world tragedy and ecological collapse. The World Meteorological Organization documented 151 unprecedented extreme weather events in 2024 alone. Heat waves killed thousands, floods displaced over 800,000 people. There were 58 separate billion-dollar weather disasters worldwide. Temperatures soared past 50 degrees Celsius in India and Pakistan. It hit 48 degrees across southern Europe. Death Valley in California recorded a blistering 56 degrees. Climate change gave our planet 41 extra days of dangerous heat than we would have had otherwise. Wildfires were catastrophic. In Canada, an area the size of Cambodia burned. The Amazon rainforest, the lungs of our planet, saw its highest number of fires on record. At the same time, it suffered its worst drought in a century, pushing it dangerously close to a tipping point where it could permanently switch from absorbing carbon to releasing it. Monsoon deluges drowned parts of Afghanistan and Pakistan. The Atlantic hurricane season was ferocious, with 2 Category 5 storms, Helene and Beryl. In the United States, 27 separate billion-dollar disasters, from cyclones to wildfires to floods, caused more economic damage than any previous year. The direct death toll from these events surpassed 10,000 people. The indirect fatalities from heat stress, hunger, and disease are likely orders of magnitude higher. Trillions of dollars were lost. Our coral reef suffered their 4th global bleaching event in just 30 years. The International Union for Conservation of Nature warns that 1 million species are now at an amplified risk of extinction because of this thermal onslaught. 2024 was not just another hot year, it was a warning shot, a glimpse into a future that we are creating right now. It's a stark reminder that the numbers on the charts have real, devastating consequences for every living thing on this planet. Ever looked at our planet from space? A serene blue marble wrapped in clouds. It's beautiful, isn't it? But beneath that beauty, our cosmic home is sending out an urgent distress signal. The latest reports are in, and they're not just numbers on a page. They're a scream from a planet being pushed to its limits. Imagine Earth as this ancient, resilient ship. For thousands of years, it has sailed through calm seas, its climate a gentle companion that allowed humanity to flourish. But right now, that ship is tilting. The navigation systems are blinking red. We've hit a record-breaking heat wave, the hottest in 125,000 years. That's long before cities, long before written language, long before us. Why does this matter? Because Earth isn't a machine. It's a living symphony. Oceans breathe, forests exhale oxygen, and ice sheets act like giant mirrors reflecting sunlight back into space. When one part of this symphony goes out of tune, everything shifts. We're standing at the precipice of irreversible tipping points. Greenland and Antarctica are shedding ice at a staggering rate, about 400 gigatons a year. If this continues, we could see seas rise by 1.5 meters by 2100. That's not a distant problem. It's a future lapping at the doorsteps of coastal cities worldwide, and it gets more complex. The Atlantic's massive ocean current system, the AMOC, which includes the Gulf Stream, has already weakened by 15%. Scientists warn it could collapse as early as 2050. A collapse would plunge northern Europe into a deep freeze while scrambling weather patterns and tropical monsoons across the globe. It's like the planet's circulatory system going into cardiac arrest. Then there's the ticking time bomb under our feet. Permafrost in the Arctic holds about 1,700 gigatons of carbon, double the amount currently in our atmosphere. As it thaws, it's poised to release a massive burst of methane and CO2, creating a feedback loop that would dwarf our current emissions and accelerate warming even faster. Meanwhile, the Amazon rainforest, the lungs of our planet, is gasping for air. It's already 20% deforested. If we cross a threshold of 20 to 25% loss, it could flip from a lush carbon sink into a dry savanna. This would release another 200 billion tons of stored carbon into the atmosphere. So how did we get here? It's a combination of factors. Earth has natural cycles, like El Niño, which gave us an extra push of warmth recently. But the dominant driver is us. Our industries, powered by fossil fuels, have wrapped the planet in an invisible heat blanket. Deforestation has taken away the trees that absorb our carbon. Our modern way of life is overheating the system. Scientists know we're in territory not seen for 125,000 years by looking into the planet's ancient heart. They drill deep into Antarctic ice, pulling up cores that trap bubbles of ancient air. They study sediments on the ocean floor and the chemical fingerprints in coral skeletons. These natural archives tell a clear story. The last time Earth was this warm, the world was a vastly different place. And we're racing past that point at an unprecedented speed. The latest reports show that 22 of 34 key indicators of Earth's health are now at disturbing extremes. Greenhouse gas levels are soaring, oceans are warming to unprecedented depths, and humanity is consuming resources faster than the planet can regenerate them. We are officially in a state of ecological overshoot. So, is Earth doomed? Is this the end of the story? No. On the brink does not mean over the edge. It means our choices, right now, have never been more critical. This is not a prophecy of inevitable collapse. It's a fork in the road. And here's the crucial part. We have the map to the better path. Hope is not a luxury, it's a strategy. And the solutions are already here, surging forward. Solar and wind power are now cheaper than coal in most of the world. Global renewable energy capacity is doubling every 4 years. Electric vehicles are no longer a niche product. They captured 18% of new car sales worldwide this year, and battery prices are in freefall. Policy is starting to catch up. Major legislation like the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act and the European Green Deal are channeling hundreds of billions into clean energy and mandating a transition away from fossil fuels. But we can't just wait for governments. We are all part of this. We are the crew of this ship, not just passengers. Our individual actions, when multiplied by millions, create a tidal wave of change. What can you do? Vote for leaders who listen to the science. Shift towards a more plant-forward diet to cut methane emissions from livestock. Think about how you travel, insulate your home, and consider switching to cleaner energy options like heat pumps if you can. Corporations have a massive role to play. They must divest from fossil fuels and adopt real, science-based targets for reducing their impact. And at the global level, all eyes are on the next climate summit, COP30 in Brazil. It's a pivotal chance to finally write a fossil fuel phase-out into international law and mobilize the trillions needed to help vulnerable nations adapt. The record heat of these past years wasn't just a weather report, it was a wake-up call. We are the first generation to fully understand the crisis and the last, with a realistic chance to prevent the worst outcomes. So let's turn this moment of peril into a moment of purpose. Let the hottest years in 125,000 years be remembered not as the beginning of the end, but as the moment humanity woke up and started acting like the planetary stewards we were always meant to be. Share this message. Commit to one tangible action today. Demand systemic change tomorrow. The Earth is not disposable, and neither is our future. Let's stay cool, fight hot, and write this next chapter together. Thank you for watching, and if this message resonates with you, please subscribe and join the conversation.